Hello residents of Gloomhaven, my name's Adam Smith, this is Rolling Solo, and we are playing through the Unlikely Allies scenario from the Gloomhaven second reprint. There's a couple things I want to do to catch up with some mistakes, or not really mistakes, but just something that was noticed in the upkeep video. So this upkeep video would have been a few videos back at the very end of the last scenario we played. We did the upkeep at the end and we went to the store and we bought some items. The Tinker ended up buying the Iron Helm and the Healing Potion, and then the Craighart purchased the Eagle Eye Goggles. What I missed was that for the bagged items, so the items with the bag symbol, it's based on a metric that's based on your level, and then you divide it by 2 and you round up. So if you take our characters are at level 1, divide by 2, 0.5, round up is 1, means you can only have one bagged item, and that increases as your levels go up. So not until you get to level 3 can you hold 2 items. So we have 2 bagged items, so I couldn't have done this. So I'm going to take, the good thing is we haven't used it yet, so I'm going to take this and get rid of it. Now we're not going to go to the store mid-game and try to purchase something, but we will at the end of this scenario clean that up. But for now I'm going to take this away, or at least just turn it over. And at the end of the scenario, I'm going to take the 10 gold back, and we're going to go back to the store with the 4 pieces he has left, plus the 10, and we'll purchase something else if we like. But I just wanted to clear that up. The other thing at the very end of the last video that I didn't miss, I was trying to end it off quickly because my battery was coming to an end, but the cooked meal, or all the meat that was on the coals here, had moved, or should have moved, to the very final spot for this round, because at the end of every round this food moves, okay, based on the scenario rules. So there we go, now we're all squared away, we're ready to go. And obviously we have the Craighart here who needs to do an attack in order to pick this stuff up. So we're going to want to use an attack that's going to give him a really good boost. One thing we're trying to avoid is taking any more experience. So something we wouldn't want to do, for instance, is play this card where we get an experience for attack 3. Let's pick something else. So something like this. Now we got to hope that we get a, something that allows us to pick up the other food piece, or we're going to lose out on one of the food pieces on the way. So that's kind of where things get rough. It's like if we can't pick up all 4 of these pieces, then one at the end of this round will get thrown away. Or say, for instance, we got like a modifier that negated it by 2 or took 2 away from our 3, then we're only picking up 1, and we're even further in trouble. So this is kind of where you want to try to maximize your attack if you can. And we really don't have any other way to do that. Yeah, we really don't. So we're going to have to go ahead as is. So we're going to go ahead and do our attack 3. But first we're picking our cards. So we pick this card here. We're going to want to move, obviously. We've got these guys being pesky, but we can get out right away with something like a move 4. So this wouldn't be bad. So these 2 in combination are great. That'll get us off the dangerous tiles that are inflicting 2 damage each. Then for the Tinkerer, all he needs to do is get to the table, and he's heading towards this table. So we're trying to head towards the back table. That's where the meat that he's carrying that has been cooked needs to get to. So he only needs 2 hexes away. He could stop here as long as he's adjacent, and he's able to dump it off. So he just needs a move 2. So let's go ahead and pick something with a move 2. We can even pick something like, we could use Net Shooter, for instance. So that's an easy one. So move 2 will allow him to get to the table. And then what we can do actually is if we stop in this location, we're not only adjacent to drop off food, but to then attack this and get some more food and head back. So this will allow us to move. We can use this for a move 2 to get there, drop off the food, and then on top of that we can attack the table, which sounds silly, but really what we're doing is doing a check against picking up meat. And so we just have to pick a card that we want to use for that. So what I'll probably do is maybe do something like, I could use the Ink Bomb. That would give me 4. So let me just think about this. If I end up with 3 here, and let's say that Craighart ends up getting 3 of those back in a good situation, that's 6. That's going to trigger the 9 objectives. Some bad stuff's going to start happening. But then we have 6 of the 14 we need. Then from that point on, we only need 8 more. So if I was to we can maybe make this happen in one trip. One more trip, essentially. So if I do like an Ink Bomb attack on it, that would give me a plus a 4 and a much better chance at getting, and we'd like to maybe get 4 versus 3. So let's aim for the real big attack, even though we're going to lose the card. This might be a good time to do it. And then we'll still use this, but we'll use it for its bottom ability. So there we go. We've picked our 2 cards. So the Tinkerer is going to go 19. Craigheart's going to go 35. And the Scouts are going to go... oh, sorry. Let me just make sure I haven't messed up here. Nope, I haven't got a shuffle symbol in there. So Scouts are going to go 40. Yep, so we're good. Okay, so they're going after us. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and move our Tinkerer first. So the Tinkerer is going to do his move 2, and he's going to head right here. And then just based on the rules themselves, I want to see if it's at the end of your turn that you drop off the meat, or if it's just right away. There might be some stipulation there. Just want to be sure. Just as once carrying cooked meat, a character must then end a movement, it says, on a hex adjacent to a table to deliver it. So that's all you have to do. You just have to end your movement there. So we've ended our movement here. So now we can take the 3 pieces of meat and we'll put them on the table, stacking them up. So we got 3 pieces of meat on the table. And then we can go ahead and take this card and discard it. Now we're going to do a real big attack. We're going to turn the Tinker around facing this table, and we're going to do a big attack. The range does not matter in this particular scenario. We are not disadvantaged. And we're going with a 4, so we'll go ahead and flip the card and see what we get. Okay, that was bad. Of all the cards to get right there, that was pretty terrible. So it says gain 1 for each enemy targeted. So in this particular scenario, we targeted the table, so I don't even know if you get, because the table's not an enemy, I don't know how that works. I don't know whether or not I'm supposed to get an experience or not for that. That's another tough question. Yeah, I think you still get the experience for that, so we'll go ahead and boost him. We gain 1 for each enemy targeted. We only targeted 1, so he's going to go up to 1. And then that's pretty much it. We lose this card because we pulled a null, which is too bad. So that's essentially that. Didn't go to plan. We'll probably have to sit there and... wow, that was really bad. And give that another shot with a different card. So now we're going to move over to the... Craighart, who's got his 2 cards. He's just essentially trying to pick up the meat that's on the grill, or on the coals, I should say. I keep calling it a grill. And then get the heck out of there. So we're going to go ahead with this one first. We're going to do an attack 3, and it's going to also bump up the element of the leaf all the way to the end. And then we're going to go ahead and do that attack. We got a 2, so we're only picking up 2 of the cooked meats. That's kind of unfortunate. So we've got 2 of the... that's really bad. Okay, so we're gonna, it looks like 2 of them are gonna end up falling off and just being discarded, so that's no good. And then we've done that, and then we're gonna do our move 4. Once you pick up meat in this game, you cannot re-pick it up. For instance, you can't, there's nothing you can really do, and to be honest, I can't do anything else that's gonna generate an attack to pick up more anyway. So, but the game says you only can, once you have meat, that's it, you're done. You can't continue adding more meat to your player card. So, at this point, we do our move 4 to get out of here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're on our way. Hopefully these guys won't move and block him on the next turn, but based on how things have been going, that is likely. So now we've done that. Now we go ahead, it's a 40, and we know that because we flipped it. And the 40, because that's lower than 53 on the initiative, we move clockwise. Sure enough, they're coming down for a party. So essentially, we've got this guy will move here, this guy will move here, and they're all just going to bunch up all around him and block him in. Just lovely, right? So he's all locked up in there, and then we'll just move on to the next turn. So the next turn, we're going to go, we'll do our end of round as well. So end of round would be all the cooked meat here goes in the trash. So this is gone, burnt up by the coals. The element track drops down. We don't have any shuffle or reshuffle except for just this null that we pulled. So we'll go ahead and shuffle this back in. And then we should be squared away unless we want a short rest. We do have 2 cards with the Craighart right now over there. And then we have 3 with the Tinkerer. So we could go one more round before doing anything. That's kind of the debate, is like whether or not it's worth it. That is a tough call. So we'll put those there. All right, so should we go another round or should we short rest? Well, the Tinkerer wants to attack things. That's for certain. Now these are all really weak cards for picking up major attacks, except for this one, which is just outrageous. Now, if we're going to go for something like that, it would be good to have the Cragheart moving with us in order to help pick up some stuff, or we could wait down there for him. So maybe that's what I'll do, is I'll go absolutely insane, and I'm going to pick this one. I'm going to use it for its bottom ability, so we can do a massive attack, and then we're going to do I'm going to do like a heal 3. That'll get us boosted back to an 8. So that's not bad. And that also gives us, now that we know, well, I mean, we could pull a null again, but I mean, come on, what are the odds of that, right? I mean, it's only ever happened every other, I don't know, 10% of the time. It's happened every time. Okay, so now we're going to move over to the Cragheart. He's only got 2 cards. I'm okay with just playing these 2. Now, the thing is, there's only a movement of 2 generated, and we've got an attack, which is pointless. So essentially, you know, if we can go late with him, maybe these guys can move out of our way. So we'll try to go 61, so that hopefully these guys will just shuffle themselves out of the way, and then we can move 2 from there. So we'll hope that that's kind of how that pans out. At least that's my plan. So 18 and 61, and then the scouts, please be before the Cragheart. Yes, perfect, lands right in the middle. Okay, so at this point, what we're going to do is do the Tinkerer's move. So the Tinkerer was planning on doing a heal 3, so we're going to bump his heal all the way up to 8. We are then going to do an attack. We're doing the 5 attack, which has a range. We get 2 experience from that, so he's going to boost himself to 3. We lose the card though, so that's kind of bad, but we get 5. So 5 tokens worth of meat is going on his on the Tinkerers. We got lots of meat with it. That's awesome. So that card actually worked out. This one gets lost, but the good thing is that he's got a whole bunch of meat on him, and that's awesome. So we've already got 3 in. We've got 5 there. The Cragheart's bringing back 2, so 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then we just need 4 more. So if the Cragheart can get 4 more on his next run back, we're in good shape, and that's something that I think is reasonable for him to go after. So we've done this as well. We've already healed, so this is also discarded. So now the scouts are going to go. They're also 29, so that being less than 53, they're going to move clockwise again. So all of our guys here are going to shuffle. This is kind of a really interesting scenario. The way Isaac's designed this is kind of like playing musical chairs while you're going through this. So they all moved over here to block this up. And now the Cragheart, though, is in good range here to make some movement options. So, you know, the only thing that really makes sense at all in this situation is to just move and then burn the other card. So I'm going to use the bottom ability for a move 2. We're gonna move to here, and then that puts us in good place to continue on regardless of whichever side these guys end up going. Both these cards are burnt, and that's the end of this round. So at this point, there's nothing to deal with in terms of the cooking. This becomes totally consumed at this point. Shuffling wise, we don't have any cards that need to be shuffled, so we're good there. We want to short rest, or we could long rest, but short resting is fine as well, I think, at this point. I think. Although long resting could be smart in that we get to pick the cards we get rid of. So maybe because we don't have any enemies, it makes sense to do a quick long rest. So let's do that. Let's choose to long rest. So both of these characters are going to do zip on their turn. Not only that, it's going to help benefit the Cragheart, and we'll bring him back his Eagle Eye Goggles, which is a huge bonus. So we're long resting with both. That puts them at initiative 99, so that means we can go ahead and flip the scout card to see what they're going to do, because they'll end up going ahead. So 35, they're obviously going first, and they're moving clockwise, so they're going to continue to shuffle around the board, which is good, because they've essentially kind of gotten out of our way a little bit. So that actually worked out really well, for now anyway. And now what we get to do is we can do our long rest on both characters. So for the Tinkerer, in terms of HP, maxed out, we're good. The Cragheart was also long resting, we'll go up 2, so he's back to 8. The Eagle Eye Goggles come back. We have nothing that needs to be refreshed over here on the Tinkerer side. And we also get to go through our entire, not our entire discard pile here and actually pick one we don't want anymore versus losing one we may want later. So moves are good. Anything with high movement is great. Anything with high attack is wonderful. So we want all three of those. We want this one for movement. Healing is also good. So really net shooter seems to be probably the one to get rid of, being that you lose it anyway. So we'll put that one in there, and then we'll take these ones and put them back. That's the cool thing about long resting, is you get a lot more decision or a lot more choice with what cards you get rid of. And we didn't really do a lot of that in the prior scenarios, but this is actually a pretty good time to show you what that's like, because long resting is very, very useful. And you typically, I mean, you don't always do it when there's enemies around, but this scenario kind of allows for it. And especially when we know we need movement and heavy attacks, pulling a random card makes it kind of iffy. So we'll do the same thing with the Craighart. We've already bumped his HP up. So now we're going to go ahead and pick our card we think is the most useless. Good attack on that one. Good attack on this. Great movement and attack. Great attack. Great attack. We could loot. Well, this one's debatable because we lose it. So that one could be one we could throw away. This one's one we could throw away, potentially as well. So maybe we'll keep the attack because that's a really high attack. This is Rock Tunnel, looks like the one to get rid of so far. Move 3 we want. Healing we want. Big attack we want. Big movement. Yep, so Rock Tunnel I think is the one to go. So we're going to throw those aside. I'll chuck that one in the lost pile. And then we're just going to restore our cards. So our shelf here is getting all boosted back up. All right. Doing this relatively quick. So the cool thing with this round is, or with this scenario, is I'm able to actually progress through rounds much quicker than I was in the prior one, because I've kind of got a quicker end goal. So there we go, we're all set up. So that was the full long rest, and now I think what we'll do is I'm going to go ahead actually and end it here. This is the end of another round again, so nothing elemental to change. And nothing else to deal with in terms of reshuffling except for the scout deck. So I'm going to end it here. Thanks guys for watching. We're going to continue our Hall of Meat. Once the Craighart gets back with his 2, the bonus is that we'll be at 5, which is 1 shy of the really bad. If we get 6, bad things start happening here. So the cool thing is we can actually, thanks to the Craighart only getting 2, we avoid triggering the bad thing. We can run back, hopefully get all the meat we need. When we come back and drop it all on, that other thing just never triggers. We just beat it before it even has a chance. So let's aim for that. And hope you guys are enjoying this one. I am. And until the next episode, guys, keep on rolling solo.